Hello and welcome to this presentation on HP functional testing. My name is David Randolph and I'm a member of the Iterative Reductionist team. In this presentation, I will be doing a product analysis and competitive review of HP functional testing software, previously known as QuickTest Professional. James Wilson already covered some of the version history of QTP, so I won't address that. Instead, I will cover an analysis of QTP with respect to other products on the market. Specifically, I'll be doing an analysis of the design and features of QTP. I'll be looking at the market competition for alternative products, and I'm going to be doing a brief comparison to the Ranorex product. Now, based on our previous presentations that showed the details of QuickTest Pro, it's obvious that QTP is a powerful and feature-rich product that has been developed over time. However, the architecture and design of QTP is more than 10 years old now, and it's really showing its age. Probably the most glaring drawback of QTP is its obsolete technical foundation. QTP uses VBScript for the automation language, which was Microsoft's first attempt at a JavaScript replacement. Visual Basic Script was designed as a stripped-down version of Visual Basic 3, but intended as a macro language. VBS is considered obsolete by Microsoft, and Microsoft has long since moved to the .NET framework. Visual Basic Script has very limited debugger support. No step back, no breakpoints or watch windows, no object inspectors, or strongly typed variables. QTP is also one of the very few products that still uses VBS, and no company would choose it for a new product today. While evaluating QuickTest Pro, we ran into a major problem. The latest version of QTP that we downloaded would crash Internet Explorer 9 even with the latest updates. We had to diagnose the problem ourselves, which was due to the fact that the QTP browser plugin was trying to access and share memory between QTP and the browser for communications during recording. However, this is not allowed with CPUs that have a feature to isolate memory between processes under Windows 7 and IE9, which is a good security feature to prevent unauthorized snooping by rogue processes. We found that there was a patch to fix this problem, but it wasn't available unless you have a paid support agreement to access the patch on the support website. Fortunately, we found a third-party site with the patch to apply it to fix this problem. This also exposed a serious flaw with QTP in that if it can crash the browser, then the browser can also crash QTP if the shared memory gets corrupted. Crashing is very inconvenient for long-running tests that may be running unattended. But there are larger issues and problems besides the problem we experienced. The problem we ran into was limited and isolated to a specific, although common, configuration. A bigger issue is that QTP was designed for a waterfall software development lifecycle, where QA testing is a distinct phase after development. There's also no support for agile methods or integration with development tools for other kinds of testing. And that's due in part because it has a completely non-standard scripting language. When we analyzed the market for functional testing software, we found that QTP is currently the market share leader, but that's likely to change due to increasing competition. It looks very much like QTP is a dinosaur that's going to go extinct because it hasn't adapted to the latest technologies. HP also doesn't publish pricing, and it's difficult to find much pricing information on the product. And that's probably because it's the most expensive product on the market. Based on the information I was able to find, it runs from about $8,000 to $24,000 a seat, depending on how the node lock licensing works. And $10,000 per seat is typical. But it also requires an annual support agreement of about $1,500 per seat. So there's ongoing expenses as well. Modules to support testing of various products, such as Oracle, SAP, Java, are even more money. This pricing seems to reflect monopoly power, not necessarily that it's the best features or the most capable product. Other significant products are very competitive on features, but at a much lower price point. Examples of this are IBM's Rational Functional Tester, the open source Selenium Test Maker, Ranorex, and other products. It's also important to note that Microsoft is introducing its own testing framework that could have a significant impact on the market in the future. It might be useful to know our perspective on functional testing products. We are .NET developers, although I have also participated in Java teams in the past as well. Matt Klitgard has used Ranorex in the past for testing .NET projects. So we thought it would be useful to compare and contrast Ranorex to QTP to put QTP into perspective based on our needs. So here's our overview of Ranorex. Ranorex is a functional testing product that also allows browser recording and scripting. However, it has a much better architecture and design for .NET development and QA teams. Ranorex is based on the .NET framework. It automatically generates tests in .NET languages such as C#. The full capability of the .NET language is available in the tests. It's not limited to environmental variables like QTP in VBScript. Testers can use the same languages as the developers. Developers can generate the tests in the languages they use and can support the testers in using those languages. The languages also allow for more advanced testing scenarios. Functional tests can also be integrated with other kinds of testing, such as unit testing, performance load testing, and regression testing. Unlike HP, Ranorex pricing is reasonable and upfront, from $1,280 to $1,980 per seat, with volume discounts available. Ranorex doesn't charge extra for modules to support other technologies. Ranorex also has a very powerful Windows spy tool to examine browser window object hierarchies. Ranorex also uses XPath queries to locate objects in the scripts, which is a powerful XML query language. It's very important to use XPath or some type of a string-based method to find objects, because that minimizes changes to code when UI objects get rearranged into different containers. QTP is much more fragile because the object hierarchy of the test matches that of the UI, instead of using query strings. QTP could require extensive recoding if the UI is frequently changing. This is one reason why it's more suitable for a waterfall software development lifecycle than for an evolving, agile, iterative project. RANORX also has a very powerful IDE that's designed similar to Visual Studio, so it provides a nice common point of reference for .NET developers. And of course, RANORX has very powerful and full-featured debugging. So our conclusion after our review and analysis of QuickTest Pro in comparison with RANORX is that we would unanimously pick RANORX over QTP. It has better features for .NET developers at a much lower price, and it would also be using more modern technologies. This concludes our review and analysis of HP functional testing. My name is David Randolph, and on behalf of James Wilson and Matthew Klitgard, the Iterative Reductionist would like to thank you for viewing this presentation.